Good evening, subscribers. A little late, but tomorrow's my day off, so excuse the fact that it's Monday. This is my Friday in my current situation, which is shitty in all aspects. Not from lack of trying, of me trying to make it better. My eternal recurrence, it continues to where it's like, ooh, you should try this. You're golden in more aspects of my life than one. It's like, oh, this will make your life better, and it's something you want. Stop overthinking and go for it. And then as soon as I do, it's like, oh, did we mention the game is rigged? It's like, no, you never mentioned that it's rigged. You just beckon me to want something and implore me to try, and then tell me that no matter what I do or don't do or do at whatever time or say that the game's rigged and the timing's never right. So instead of leaving me alone, you implore me to want something and then tell me I can't have it no matter what and make my situation worse. Kind of narcissistic. Leads me to my point. So what I want to talk about now is perhaps, in my opinion, my enlightened opinion on narcissistic abuse, because I've done a lot of research in my own lived experiences, and I've helped quite a few people, quite a few women, dozens, escape narcissistic relationships. You know, the whole son of Lilith thing, the boy in the girls club. Somebody's got to smack these guys around, right? Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to be a cop anymore, so I can say it. Allegedly, not that I did anything, allegedly, figure of speech, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, the cruelest, in my opinion, enlightened opinion, thing a narcissist can do, particularly in a relationship, it can happen, I'll speak about it from my perspective, being raised by a borderline mother, is normalize the abuse. Now, why is this particularly cruel? Where the hell's my other bead? That's odd. There's another one that hangs there. Where are you? Sorry. It's very strange. The necklace didn't come off, but a bead has disappeared. A bead that boosts all the spells I cast. This hasn't come off in months. Oh wait, there it is. Sorry. I've had like a bottle of wine already. But how is this the cruelest? Well, here's the thing. When you're in an abusive environment so long, you become numb to it. It becomes normalized. It becomes comfortable, like old leather. This is old leather. This is a Kenneth Cole designer jacket I got for free in the old days of modeling. But I still look pretty awesome in it. And I repair it with super glue. Because if I'm wearing something that's designer, I didn't pay for it. It means I was paid to wear it. So what does this mean when in terms of the abuse? Well, we all know that a narcissist in a romantic situation will pretend to be someone they're not. They'll wear the mask. They'll pretend to be the person the target wants. And they'll typically target someone at the opportune time. Narcissists, unlike INFJs and men of integrity in general, are very good at timing. You know, here's let me give you a little bit of truth. I'm gonna give some truth from a Lilithan perspective and from a Sigma IFJ male perspective, because I can do both and no one else can. Ladies, this is not a pleasant truth. Mr. Right, whatever that may be to you, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, it's subjective, and Mr. Right place at the right time are never, ever, ever the same guy. typically, and this is true for guys too with Miss Right, the person who embodies the traits, the personality, the looks you truly want, like the person who's like, oh my God, they're everything I've looked for and they're so hard to find, they exist. One, I know you're the elusive blue rose, and they will typically, for most people, appear. They will never, ever, ever come at the opportune time. It'll always be at a bad time. It'll always be at a time where to pursue them will require sacrifice, because something that transcendent, that empowering, something that it's like, how can this be real? But it is. It'll come at a cost, and the cost is you're probably gonna have to get out of a situation you're in now. That'll be the sacrifice required. That's from the Leviathan perspective. What is forbidden is empowering, and that which is forbidden requires sacrifice, but what is forbidden is also transcendent. Get it? You have to be willing to embrace free will. Do what you want to do and damn the consequences. But the narcissist who, they know when to strike. They know how to strike. They know when to strike. They're very calculating. A lot of narcissists, particularly coverts, they're no fools. Now, intellectually, they're not the brightest people usually, but in terms of bravado and bullshitting and lying, they're some of the best people that have ever lived. You know what I mean? What do you mean you kept the blue dress? It's my Slick Willie Clinton, not at its finest. I've been drinking, but depends on what your definition of is means. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Oh wait, I did. I use that as an example because a narcissist will lie and tell you what you want to hear, and then when you have irrefutable evidence, they will have no choice but to cop to it, which is hard to get. We'll get into that too. So, they'll normalize the abuse. They'll lure you in, pretend to be what you want. They're very good at getting information out of you. They'll be like, this is how I con this person. This is the mask I must wear, the character I must play. And once they've lured you in long enough to where they know they have control over you, and they get control over you by beating you down, by diminishing your worth, destroying your confidence, making you feel as if you cannot function on your own. Good luck, narcissists, because one of the byproducts, the unintentional byproducts of being raised by a borderline mother, does teach you unintentionally how to close your heart and turn your back on women who only play games. And also it's taught me that I don't need anyone, because I've had to fend for myself and pick myself up when I fall and function on my own my whole life. So, well, at least since 16 when my maternal grandmother died anyway, but Anyway, the narcissist knows how to get their claws in you, and they kind of make their validation like a drug, to where they've put themselves on this pedestal. They make themselves seem so much greater than what they are. A narcissist, particularly a covert, will put you down while putting themselves up, i.e. like you could be out of their league, but they'll reverse it somehow. Mind games, gaslighting. Ooh, yes. Watch my narcissistic tactics playlist. I get into many of their tactics in detail, and they have so many. And they're so skilled at them. But this pattern continues, and as I've said in many videos, they target empaths. ENFJs, you're the number one target. I have a whole playlist on that too. But they'll not only play to your empathy, they also exploit your inability to say no and stick up for yourselves unless you're empowered, which usually comes after the age of 25, and even then it's rare. until you meet like an INFJ or a witch of some kind who teaches you that. But hey, seek Lilith. If anyone can teach you, it's her. But they'll exploit those things. Your empathy towards them, maybe they'll appear as broken or wanting to change. They never want to change. Narcissists never want to change. A true narcissist will not see the faults in themselves. They see themselves as perfect. They know how to lie. They know how to say and make it sound good that they want to change or that they have faults, but they don't really see those faults in themselves and be like, well, what's wrong with this person that they see this as a fault? Like, this is actually a strength of mine. Everything I do is a strength of mine. And, you know, their neuroses or neediness, I'm going to use that one a lot, is inhibiting my ability to network and climb the ladder, and they're lucky I chose them because I'm going places, because I'm me, because I'm the best there's ever been, God's gift to everything I touch. And you know, this nobody girl's lucky that, you know, I find her attractive enough to settle for her. Sound familiar? Those of you that did a covert narcs, I know it's a hacky, drunken impression, but you know, truth be told, I'm not that good of an actor. I'm really not. Just pretty. So, but they'll make it comfortable. They know when to put the mask back on to make it seem like they're changing, to make it seem like they're giving you what you asked them for. They're really not. They're pretending to. Just long enough to reel you back in and be like, oh, they really care and they're willing to change and work on things. But it becomes comfortable because they'll get you into this pattern where it's like, oh, well, it's on and off happiness. Not really. So the truth of that is, the dark truth, unfortunately, is the happiness is fake. It's them pretending to be something they're not, just long enough to continue their hold on their narcissistic supply. And as time goes on, they know they're wearing you down. They know, you know, because patterns are hard to break. Change is hard for a lot of people. They fear the unknown. They get comfortable, or they fear, if I leave something, it's going to be worse. And the narcissist will convince you of that too. Well, even if you think it's bad, I'm as good as it gets. And, you know, if you leave me, you'll be alone and broke and you'll never find any better. What you replace me with will be worse. Lies. But that's, you know, they're very good at gaslighting and getting those thoughts inside your head, breaking you down, making you feel inadequate and thinking that you can't function without them. That's what they want. Dependence. Sometimes codependence. But in getting into this, it becomes comfortable because they'll convince you that, well, it's just a rough patch and things will get better. And like I said, these short periods that grow shorter of them pretending to change, to be what they pretended to be, to, you know, get you in the sack. Those periods grow shorter and shorter. And they put in, the longer time goes on, they realize the longer time goes on, the harder it is to change and leave them. Those periods grow shorter, and the so-called improvement, you know, it becomes smaller and smaller. Meanwhile, them revealing their true self gets darker and darker. The real them comes out more and more and more and more exploitatively. And that can manifest in many ways, whether it be emotionally, where they just don't give a damn about how you feel and it's all about them. You exist to build them up, to be their crutch, to be their trophy, to be like, you're supposed to make me look good and feel honored that I chose you as my arm candy because I'm so great and godlike. Remember I told them, well, I have told some. I haven't met every narcissist, not yet. They are drawn to me like lightning rod. Well, more so the women that date narcissists all eventually find me, and then I find the narcissists and call them out. And they always say, don't you know who I am? But no. I don't. And anyone who has to say, don't you know who I am, is a nobody. Like me. I'm a nobody. But I say I'm a nobody. But a pretty nobody. And the son of Lilith. I kind of like that title. I also like Boy in the Girls Club. I've learned to embrace that over the years. Where was I? Oh, yes. The exploitative's point, they grow more and more comfortable feeling as if it's going to be harder and harder for you to leave them because, you know, a lot of people like the status quo and change hard, change bad, creature of habit. They realize, like, well, the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for them to break those chains. Chains get thicker over time. So they reveal more and more of their true self, and they exploit you emotionally more and more, and a lot of times... I'm pointing to the bedroom, by the way. You know what kind of exploitation I'm referring to. I'm trying to keep this monetized. But more and more of their true selves, their darker aspects, will be revealed. And they'll excuse it away. Stress, rough times, no. That's who they truly are. They're showing you their true face. Horrifying, isn't it? Horrifying and monstrous. Alas, we still cannot hunt narcissists. In a pagan world, I think we could. Right, Lila? Altar's over there. You can't see it, but it's there. I've shown it. So, you know, these brief moments of upswing, of change isn't real. It's going to be just enough to reel you back in and make you think there's hope. False hope. Don't fall for it. Deep down, every person, and I'm focusing on people dating because I've said it in other videos, you know, when a 13, 14-year-old realizes they're being raised by a narcissist, their options are very limited. But for an adult dating a narcissist, you can just leave. Even if you're married to him, you can just leave. Yeah, there's going to be paperwork and legal things to go through, but you can still leave and deal with that over the ensuing months. However, if you're not married and you're just dating or even engaged, you can just leave. There's nothing they can do. I mean, well, you know, there's things they can do, but they have no legal recourse to demand anything from you. And if they refuse to leave your life, well, there's, you know, the police for that. There's things you can do to make sure that they have to abide by no contact. Ooh, and it could end by doing so if they disobey. Could become a matter of public record that they can't deny. Haha. Not only, you know, free will and justice, but vengeance in a single stroke as well. At times the legal system does have its appeal. So be aware that they're going to do that they're going to try to normalize the abuse. They're going to try to make their pattern comfortable to you, to where it's like, well, you know, you're unhappy most of the time, but every once in a while when you're about to leave, it'll get better briefly in a very fake, superficial way that won't last, that isn't for real. It's, you know, me bullshitting you so you stick around so I can exploit you more emotionally and in that room and get my supply off of you because you need me. I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you. Always fear that thing too. And never mind that there's other people telling you that I'm the worst thing that ever happened to you, and never mind if there's, you know, maybe someone else who like actually cares about you, who you're keeping at arm's length because, well, because the narcissist has their claws in you. Be aware of these things. Do not let them normalize the abuse. Do not fall into this pattern of being a creature of habit to the narcissist abuse. Do not live to serve the narcissist and be their source of supply. It's a hard habit to break. It's a hard habit in one sense because you don't want to admit it to yourself that it's all been a lie, that you've wasted all this time, that you've allowed yourself to be treated like this, because yeah, that really beats the shit out of your pride. But it's empowering to call them out, to expose them for who they truly are. to overcome being someone so beaten down and so subservient into someone who can recognize these patterns in other people and call them out and expose them for who they truly are. Because once a narcissist is exposed, it can't be unexposed. It's like doing a nude scene. Once it's out there, it's out there. There's no reeling it back in or undoing it. So, trust me, I know. But that part is empowering. And if you don't believe me, ask Lilith.